Here's my latest book review on behalf of the publisher New in Chess, and this time I'm looking at the book 100 Endgames You Must Know by Jesus de la Villa, vital lessons for every chess player. And it costs $24.95 US, €22.95 Euro, and is available online from newinchess.com. I'm often asked about recommendations for books on the endgame because, well, endgames can just seem so overwhelming. Where do you start? There's so much material out there, so many endgames to look at. I think the great thing about this book is that Jesus de la Villa, who's a Spanish trainer and player, he does all that hard work for you. He makes the selection. I should stress that this is a book on very basic endgames. So very basic king and pawn endgames, rook and pawn endgames, bishop and knight endgames, and queen endgames. But this is information you have to know if you're serious about improving your endgame knowledge. So, you know, you start at the bottom basically, and then work up and into more complex endgames. Let me give an example of the kind of endgames he looks at. So many of you will know Philidor's position here, and that the correct drawing technique is to play the rook to the third rank. But if we change the position a little bit, well, here Philidor's defense isn't possible. Would you know how to draw this position, for example? Or if we add a pawn, okay, what's the assessment of this position? Does it make a difference? Very often it's not necessary to know the exact moves and how to make a draw, but simply assessing a position correctly is important to finding a defense. And what about this one? This time again, Philidor's defense isn't possible. Obviously that rook will be on prise. But is it possible to draw this position? And if we switch around king and rook, so I've put the king rook the other way around, again black to play, does this make a difference? Can black draw? Well, these are absolute basics that if you're serious about endgame knowledge, you have to know. I should say that de la Villa has selected the most frequently encountered endgames in practice. You know, these aren't obscure endgame studies. These are endgames that appear regularly on the board. And his analysis is very clear indeed. He doesn't just give variations. He explains why you make these moves. So it's very clearly reasoned. I like that a lot. And also, these ideas can be applied to more complex positions as well. So it's a very practical tool. I should say that this is the 4th edition of this book. There are a few minor corrections apparently, and little squares have been added to the diagrams so you know exactly which side it is to move if you want to test yourself. There's a test right at the start of the book which helps you to assess where you're at, you know, how good your basic endgame knowledge is. And then there's a test right at the end so that you can, well, find out how much knowledge you've taken on, which is always nice to know. I should say that when I'm asked for endgame book recommendations, I've often recommended Jeremy Silman's Endgame course, which is a book I like very much. But this is far more comprehensive on basic endgames. So both good, but as I said, for basic endgames, this is far more comprehensive. So there we go. It's a really excellent book. Now, what level is this suitable for? Well, I would say practically any level. If you're 15 or 1600 ELO, I think you could handle this book. But of course, you need to work hard at it. And I would say, this book can be used by professionals as well. And I know several professionals who use this as just a little reminder of key end games. So there we go. This is essential knowledge. 100 Endgames You Must Know by Jesus de la Villa, published by New in Chess, $24.95 US, €22.95 Euro, and it's available online from newinchess.com.